In our headlines on this Friday, February 7th, here in South Korea. Heavy snowfall and frigid temperatures continue to affect the country today, leading to icy road conditions that have led to a few tragic accidents and travel disruptions at airports and seaports. Meanwhile, the sixth hearing at the impeachment trial of President Choi back on Thursday became a blazing row over the diction the president claimed to have used and the one that witnesses allege he used. And Seoul Fashion Week is on the runway at the Dongdaemun Design Plaza until this coming Sunday, with the trends that look to shape K-fashion during the fall and winter of this year. Those here in South Korea witnessed intense snowfall yesterday that disrupted the trip back home, and the freezing temperatures overnight made the commute to work early this morning equally as treacherous, with some regions recording more snow today. Our Park Gun-woo reports.
Heavy snow and a cold wave are continuing to affect South Korea. On Friday morning, snowfall even reached 3 to 8 centimeters per hour in many areas, leading to the accumulation of up to around 15 centimeters of snow in some regions of Jeollado province. Snow from the previous night combined with sub-zero temperatures dropping below -10 degrees Celsius led to multiple accidents on icy roads. A cargo truck driver in their 70s died in a crash after skidding and colliding with another truck on the Seoyan Expressway in Gangjin, Chungju province. A passenger in the truck sustained minor injuries. Another fatality occurred in Hongcheong-gun County, Gangwon province the night before, when a person also in their 70s was hit by a tow truck dispatched earlier to clear another accident. Due to harsh weather conditions, over 100 flights from Jeju to other domestic airports were cancelled as of Friday at 3 p.m. Around 90 ferries were also cancelled, while roads and mountain trails were closed. The Korea Meteorological Administration urged the public to remain careful about safety and personal health. It also forecast the cold wave to begin easing next week. Park Gun-woo, Arirang News.
Meanwhile, an earthquake measuring slightly above 3 on the Richter scale struck the central part of Korea in the wee hours of this Friday. Our Kim Jong-sil has more.
Early Friday morning around 2:35 a.m., a magnitude 3.1 earthquake struck the central region of the country, waking people with the shake. The epicenter was located about 22 kilometers northwest of Chungju city at a depth of 9 kilometers. The quake was felt in surrounding areas of Chungju, including Gangwon and parts of Gyeonggi-do provinces. Initially, the Korea Meteorological Administration estimated the quake's magnitude at 4.2, but after further analysis, it was revised to 3.1. South Korea uses the modified Mercalli intensity scale to measure earthquake intensity, with 10 being the strongest. In this case, the highest tremor intensity reported in Chungju was level 5, or moderate intensity.
Level 5 means that nearly everyone in the area felt the shaking, with items like dishes and windows breaking and unstable objects tipping over. 2 aftershocks occurred by 8:30 a.m. with smaller magnitudes.
Experts also suggested further caution for those in the affected areas.
Although this earthquake is relatively small compared to those occurring in seismic hotspots, it may have caused strong shaking that could make some people feel uneasy. If you feel tremors, it is important to stay calm and prioritize protecting your head and body.
The Ministry of the Interior and Safety has confirmed that there were no significant injuries or damages, with over 20 reports of shaking as of Friday morning, the most coming from Gangwon-do with 15 reports. The ministry has activated the emergency response system and issued an earthquake warning for the affected areas. It has also dispatched a field situation manager to Chungju to oversee the situation and ensure proper management. Kim Jong-sil, Arirang News.
The sixth hearing at the impeachment trial of President Choi back on Thursday became a blazing row over the diction the president claimed to have used and the one that witnesses allege he used. Our correspondent Oh Soo-young reports.
There were strong clashes on Thursday over whether President Yoon had ordered soldiers to pull out members of parliament to stop them overturning martial law on December 3rd. This came at Yoon's sixth impeachment trial hearing, where former Army Special Warfare Commander Kwak Jong-un stood witness by the request of the National Assembly. Kwak firmly maintained his position that the president in a phone call ordered him to drag out lawmakers or Yoon from the National Assembly, not agents or Yoon, as claimed by Defense Minister Kim Yong-yeon.
At the time, the 707th Special Mission Forces were in a standoff and weren't inside the main building. Since I received the call in that context, I naturally assumed he was referring to National Assembly members and understood it that way.
Then, with questions fired over his choice of words, he admitted the president told him to pull out the numbers or inwon, not legislators or Yoon inside the National Assembly. To this, President Yoon himself spoke out.
저는 그냥 사람이라는 이런 표현을 놔두고 또 의원이면 의원이지 인원이라는 말을 저는 써본 적이 없습니다.
Yoon also refuted the former commander's claim that the president and the defense minister did not want the number of legislators in the assembly to reach 150, the number of votes needed to pass a motion to revoke martial law.
한 명, 두 명을 몇 명이 가서 끄잡아낼 수 있는 게 아니라 151명이든 152명이든 다 끄잡아내야만 그 회의를 막을 수 있는 것인데 그런 상황을 충분히 아는 사령관 입장에서 만약에 전하 장관이 의원을 끄집어내라는 취지의 얘기를 했다면 그냥 즉각 이거는 지금 현재 상황이 이렇기 때문에 우리 병력으로는 불가능합니다라고 얘기하는 게 상식이지.
He accused Kwak of conspiring to impeach him, with First Deputy Director of the National Intelligence Service Hong Jang-won, who also testified unfavorably for Yoon. Kim Yeon-tae, commander of the 770th Special Mission Battalion, who led the break-in at the National Assembly, also testified on Thursday. He said Commander Kwak Jong-gun did say the number of people should not exceed 150, and added that Kwak seemed to be relaying instructions from a higher authority rather than issuing a command. Kim said he did not receive any orders to remove or restrict the movement of legislators in the National Assembly, but to lock down the building. Presidential Secretary for Economic Affairs Park Chun-seop also testified, suggesting that Yoon's martial law was motivated by the opposition-led parliament's impeachment of various state officials, unilateral legislation, and slashing of the government's budget. As the testimonies continue, the National Assembly's impeachment panel accused Yoon of inconsistency.
He's abandoned his stance that he wanted to eradicate anti-state forces through martial law and is now solely focused on finding statements that are advantageous to him.
With many conflicting statements to cross-check and verify, it's still unclear how the court will manage the pace of the proceedings and whether it will choose to hear from more witnesses, as there are just 2 hearings left until next Thursday.
Court officer Chun Jae-yeon said Wednesday that scheduling additional hearings is at the court's discretion, and there's no official position yet. But she noted that trial dates can be postponed depending on circumstances. The court has approved a total of 16 witnesses requested by Yoon and the National Assembly, rejecting most of the more than 30 witnesses Yoon's team applied for. The next trial hearing takes place on Tuesday. Oh Soo-young, Arirang News.
Meanwhile, acting President Choi Sang-mok has called on military authorities to boost troop morale amid the current political turmoil. Now, remarks to this end were made earlier on this Friday during a visit to the Joint Chiefs of Staff Command and Control Center, his first visit there since assuming the role of the nation's caretaker. He also highlighted the importance of maintaining an unwavering readiness posture to firmly respond to any North Korean provocation, with priority placed on national defense. Also on this Friday, acting President Choi Sang-mok vowed to push for parliamentary approval of the so-called Value Up Bill. Now, speaking at a macroeconomic meeting, Choi added he would call on the National Assembly to pass the bill during this month's special session. The bill offers greater tax incentives to boost corporate participation in the government's Corporate Value Up program, an initiative that seeks to address the undervaluation of South Korean companies on global markets. following talks with relevant ministries here on this Friday, the ruling People Power Party has pledged to promote legislation to prevent workplace bullying to better protect freelance and platform workers. Now, intentions follow allegations of workplace harassment of a freelance weather forecaster at a local broadcaster that reportedly led to her suicide. The Labour Ministry and the ruling party are considering the creation of a special act and the introduction of a special supervision with regard to the latest tragic case. Separately, ruling lawmakers and government officials will also seek to expand support for young citizens in their teens to those in their 30s who are burdened with the sole responsibility of family care or are socially isolated. Elsewhere, rampant rejections by the international community have done little to deter U.S. President Donald Trump's intentions to lay claim to the Gaza Strip. Our Isingje covers his latest remarks.
During a meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu earlier this week, U.S. President Donald Trump proposed a U.S. takeover of Gaza and the relocation of 2 million Palestinians. The plan was heavily criticized by the international community, with some calling it a form of ethnic cleansing. However, the U.S. president revisited the proposal on Thursday. Taking to his social media platform Truth Social, Trump said the Gaza Strip would be turned over to the United States by Israel at the conclusion of fighting. Under his proposal, Trump continued to explain that the Palestinians would have already been resettled in far safer and more beautiful communities with new and modern homes in the region. He added that the U.S. would be part of efforts to redevelop the enclave. However, he did not mention whether the Gazans would be allowed to return to their homes. Under international law, attempts at forced transfer of populations from occupied territory are strictly prohibited. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio on Thursday explained that the proposal for Palestinians to leave Gaza would be for an interim period while reconstruction took place. Amid concerns that the U.S. may also send troops to Gaza, which would lead to further tensions in the Middle East, Trump said that his proposal would not require any U.S. soldiers. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
Up next, we share with you the fashion trends that will shape the fall and winter of this year as seen at the Seoul Fashion Week. Our Yoon was there.
Want an exclusive first look at the hottest fall and winter fashion trends? Whether you're a trendsetter or just curious about what's next in the world of fashion, this week, Dongdaemun Design Plaza in Central Seoul is the place to be. The 2025 Fall-Winter Seoul Fashion Week kicked off on Wednesday, bringing together top designers, industry professionals, and fashion enthusiasts to showcase the boldest, most innovative styles of the season with the aim of elevating global interest in K-fashion. The opening show features Hannashin, a brand that says it constantly strives to balance glamour with sustainability. Technology is helping it do that.
One technology our brand has particularly embraced is 3D printing. The first dress you saw in the show, embellished with jewels, was created using the fused deposition modeling method. Another dress featuring stars was made using polyjet printing. By exploring how to integrate 3D printing into fashion, we've been able to create innovative and creative designs.
These 3D printing technologies allow vivid prints to be attached directly to textures in a sustainable manner, such as precise material usage and reducing waste. Designer Shin also hinted that one of this year's fashion trends highlights the use of new technologies to create cruelty-free alternatives to traditional fur, with many brands leading the way. Also, to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Seoul Fashion Week, the opening day featured the first ever Seoul Fashion Forum, bringing together global industry leaders. James Fallon, Chief Content Officer of Fairchild Media Group, a leading source of fashion news and analysis, shared insights on the global competitiveness of Korean designer brands. This year's Fall-Winter Seoul Fashion Week also hosts a trade show with over 130 fashion brands, offering a platform for interaction between brands and more than 300 domestic and international buyers, with the goal of securing contracts worth around 8 billion Korean won, or approximately over $6 million.
The event highlights the latest trends with innovative presentations that mix fashion and the work of people from all around the world. Don't miss this exciting look at the future of fashion before it ends on February 9th. Yoon, Arirang News.
And this year's Winter Asian Games opens tonight in the Chinese city of Harbin. The opening ceremony will take place at the Harbin International Convention Exhibition and Sports Center at 9 p.m. Korea Standard Time. The regional sporting event that takes place every 4 years marks its 9th edition this year and the first in 8 years since the last Games in 2017, as the 2021 event was cancelled due to the global pandemic. South Korea will have 148 athletes competing in 6 sport categories. And Samsung Electronics' latest Galaxy S25 series are hitting stores worldwide in phases starting today. The Korean market, as well as that in the US, in the UK, India and Thailand, will be among the early sellers before these Samsung smartphones are made available in over 120 countries. This latest lineup also offers Google's AI Gemini in 46 languages. The new series was unpacked in California last month. K-pop girl group NewJeans has changed its name to NJZ. Early on this Friday, the group shared a new concept photo with the new name on its social media platform. The group has been engaged in a contract dispute with its agency Adore since last year. NJZ will perform at Hong Kong's Complex Live come next month for the first time under its new identity. Preserving works of art may be considered equally as important as the task of creating them, and here in Korea, there is a special team of skilled technicians who seek to ensure that our cultural treasures, big and small, stand the test of time. Our correspondent Song Yoo-jin reports.
At a glance, these two paintings may seem identical, but look closer and you'll start to spot differences. The one on the left has stains, areas where paint has peeled or faded, imperfections that are absent in the one on the right. This transformation is the work of future National Heritage Maintenance Technicians. National Heritage Maintenance Technicians are certified professionals responsible for preserving Korea's cultural treasures, from paintings to historic buildings, as close to their original state as possible. So every year, the Heritage Education Institute offers a training program to really nurture experts in the conservation, restoration, and repair of national heritage. And here at the Insa Art Center in Seoul, works by graduates of last year's program are on display. Since these students are not yet licensed, they have recreated existing pieces to showcase their craftsmanship. One such piece is this Joseon Dynasty-style checkerboard, crafted with a turtle shell top and a tiger design made from ox horn. And this is the original housed at the National Folk Museum of Korea.
I first crafted the wooden base, then applied hemp cloth, layered lacquer, and added decorative elements. What I loved most about this program was collaborating across different fields. This piece, for example, includes mineral pigments used in the Dantong traditional paintwork.
The exhibition features 101 student works. Students can choose from 15 courses in the program, including lacquering, woodworking, paintwork, and imitation.
We started with 40 students in 2012 and now have over 120 graduates each year. I can feel the growing public interest, which I think is due to more people recognizing the importance of cultural heritage.
The steady rise in technicians reflects this growing awareness, with over 13,000 now working in the field. Although they're called technicians, they are, in fact, artists in their own right.
Restoring heritage requires highly specialized skills, using the same techniques as in the past. In this sense, these experts play a central role in preserving and protecting our cultural heritage.
Though these technicians often work behind the spotlight, their hands keep history alive, preserving its timeless beauty. A craft rarely acknowledged, but absolutely essential.
I think preserving traditional crafts is key to protecting our national identity and history. That's why we need experts who safeguard not just the artistic value of artifacts, but also their cultural and historical significance. I really hope to be part of that work.
They're the guardians of Korea's national heritage, ensuring that its beauty endures for generations to come. 송유진, Arirang News.
This is The World Now, bringing you the latest stories from around the globe. Beginning with the diplomatic dispute between the U.S. and Panama over usage fees for the Panama Canal. Washington on Thursday reversed claims made the day before that an agreement had been reached to allow passage through the canal free of charge. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said Panama is expected to waive transit fees for U.S. government vessels, acknowledging a process of laws and procedures that Panama would need to navigate first. The U.S. State Department announced Wednesday that a deal had been made that would save the U.S. millions of dollars annually. However, Panama's President Jose Raul Mulino refuted the claim, stating that no such agreement exists and emphasized that neither he nor the Constitution have the authority to alter canal fees. He said the U.S. assertion was intolerable and instructed Panama's ambassador in Washington to confront the statement. The Panama Canal Authority, responsible for setting the transit tolls, also denied any changes to fee structures. Ukraine has bolstered its air defense capabilities by receiving the first round of advanced fighter jets from its European allies, France and the Netherlands. Ukraine announced on Thursday the arrival of its first batch of French Mirage 2000 fighter jets, alongside U.S.-made F-16 fighters from the Netherlands. Ukrainian Defense Minister Rustem Umerov confirmed that the aircraft will commence combat missions soon. The exact number of jets delivered has not been disclosed for security reasons. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky expressed gratitude to France and the Netherlands for their support in strengthening Kyiv's air force. The Netherlands has committed to providing F-16 fighters and training for Ukrainian pilots, and France has adapted the Mirage 2000 for air-to-ground strikes. In Greece, the government declared a state of emergency on Thursday for the island of Santorini, following more than 7,000 undersea earthquakes that began on January 31st. The most significant was a 5.2 magnitude quake on Wednesday. This has prompted the evacuation of more than 10,000 residents and workers on the island. Authorities have closed schools, restricted access to coastal areas due to landslide risks, and deployed emergency services, including the army and police. While damage has been minimal, the state of emergency is to stay in effect until March 3rd. Also in Europe, Italy began its one-year countdown to the 2026 Milan Cortina Winter Olympics on Thursday, with an official ceremony and series of events taking place in Milan. Celebrations included the unveiling of the Omega Countdown Clock and the opening of the Sport Village, featuring free ice hockey and curling rinks for public use. International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach officiated the event, expressing confidence in preparations despite a century-old track in Cortina being incomplete. The event will run from February 6th to 22nd in 2026. Choi Ji-hee, Arirang News.
Most of the snow that fell in the Seoul metropolitan area this morning has stopped, but the Chungju and Jeollado provinces are seeing heavy snow again. Heavy snow advisories for Seoul have been lifted, but heavy snow warnings are still in place, mainly in southern Gyeonggi-do province and the Chungju and Jeollado provinces. By tomorrow, heavy snow is expected to be more than 15 centimeters in the Chungju provinces, up to 25 centimeters in the Jeollado provinces, and up to 30 centimeters of snow is forecast in the mountainous areas of Jeju Island by Sunday. With strong cold wind coming down from the north, the weather will get colder tomorrow. Seoul will start off at minus 13 degrees Celsius, Chuncheon at minus 16. Daily highs will move up to minus 3 degrees in Seoul and Chuncheon, minus 1 degree in Daejeon. The cold wave is expected to continue throughout the weekend and gradually turn warmer from next Monday. That's all for Korea. Here are the weather conditions around the world.
Right, those are the headlines for now. Thank you for watching.